Hello, Periscope. Good evening. If you are on the East Coast, it is evening now, or wherever you're joining. I appreciate you coming on. My name is Daree Allen, and I just wanted to offer a little bit of encouragement for you with those times that you're feeling like, my life kind of sucks right now. Everybody feels like that sometimes, right? Oh, I'm supposed to be looking over here. I'm trying to get used to this landscape thing. Thanks for those hearts, y'all. This is my first evening scope. I was trying to resist it, but Nicole came on and said, you need to go ahead and just do it. Do it a couple of times a day. So here we go. And I'm an expert in feeling discontent. This scope is probably going to be encouragement for me to watch later. Okay, so I'm preaching to myself, not just you all. But basically, for those of you that don't know, I am a youth speaker and an author. And what I do is I encourage young ladies and women to have more self-confidence by teaching them about negative media influences and live to a higher standard of life. Hey, here I am. But today what I want to talk about is feeling discontent and needing that encouragement sometimes, because everybody has times where they just kind of feel like, oh, these things are happening for other people. They're not happening for me. I'm doing what's right. I think I'm doing what's right. I'm doing my best. I'm a good person, whatever, fill in the blank. But this still doesn't happen for me, or hasn't happened as quickly as I would have liked. But there's no win in comparison. Comparison is the enemy of happiness, and it is the enemy of contentment. So my personal story, really briefly, is that I got divorced 10 years ago. I skyrocketed up to about 220 pounds, my highest weight ever. And I'm actually heavier than I look right now, but I'm certainly not over 200 pounds. But I had to come through this whole journey of self-love myself. So being assertive, feeling confident, feeling good about myself, it wasn't the way I was born. This happened over the years, God working with me having therapy, me talking to people, and me doing things that were uncomfortable to get to where I needed to be at the next level. But every now and then, I still feel some kind of discontentment. Just taking that for an example, there's times right now I'm kind of okay. This is a good day, but there are days where it's kind of like, all right, how come I don't have a man? You know what I mean? And I'm not always without a man for the whole 10 years, but there are moments where it's kind of like, it'd be nice to have somebody. I'm raising a child alone. Thank you. I'm trying to look at the camera and look at you guys. If I'm missing your comments, it's not on purpose. I'm not ignoring you on purpose. Okay, so don't hold it against me. But so as a single mom, I only have one child, but she's still a handful. She's like having three. And so sometimes I feel like, okay, I'm raising her by myself. And Lord, how come I got to do this by myself? There's these other people that, perhaps they're not really doing, what they should be doing. And they seem to be getting ahead. They seem to be having, it seems to be easy for them. We look at other people and we think, okay, this is easy for them. Yes. It's probably the reason why I haven't had a second child, okay? So, I'm going to give you 3 things that I want to give you to encourage you. I don't know if they're called tips, but just 3 things I want you to think about. And then there's 2 things that I would like you to do if you would like to get over that feeling of discontentment. So if you haven't already, please share with your followers, share with people on Twitter, share to Facebook. I have an Android and I have the update, but for some reason, I'm not able to share to Facebook. So wherever you want to share, do that if you feel like people would benefit from this. So the first thing I want to say is, sometimes we forget this. Everybody's got something, right? Everybody's got something. There's actually a book by that name by Robin Roberts. Robin Roberts is actually my birthday twin. She's older than me, but we have the same birthday, which is November 23rd. And I just feel like everybody's got something, but it's all different. So yeah, maybe I do, Nicole. But there's nobody on the face of this earth that doesn't have problems, right? Everybody's got something. So some people, maybe they're not, single with a child, but maybe they're taking care of a parent or an elderly person. Maybe they're having problems at work. Maybe, they're trying to climb the corporate ladder. There's all different types of responsibilities and things that we're trying to do. And so someone else might wish that they had what you had. They might look at you and say, oh, you're so pretty. I wish I had hair like yours. Or they might say, they say to me, oh, you're so lucky. You work from home. You don't have to run out in this commute. And I agree. It's awesome to not have to commute in Atlanta traffic. But there's other things, you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody's got something. So to someone else, what you look at someone and say, oh, well, that's a blessing. I wish I had that. To them, they might not look at it the same way, okay? So remember that everybody's got something. That's the first thing. Second thing I want you to remember, which I kind of alluded to already, is that you will never feel content while you're looking at other people. You will never feel content and satisfied with your life as long as you're looking at what other people are doing. I don't care if you're looking at all the things that they're doing business-wise. I don't care if you're looking at their relationships. I don't care if you're looking at, things that have been happening, I don't know, at the church, personally, whatever it is in their life, you will never feel good about yourself if you are always looking at what someone else is doing. And it's okay to learn from other people. It's okay to get encouraged from other people. It's good to get their advice. But if you are just looking at, let's say, Facebook posts or Instagram posts or something, and you're seeing slices of people's lives, they're only giving you little pieces of their lives. It's like a sliver, unless you know them personally. And I don't think you know all 2,000 of your Facebook friends really personally. Let's just be real, okay? Some of them are really not your friends, okay? It's just a sliver of what is really there. It's just a little slice of life. So it's easy, especially on the weekends. Oh my gosh, holidays are hard for me, you guys. Holidays are hard because I live in Atlanta and I don't have family here. I've got a daughter. She's young. She's in middle school. She wants to do stuff. And we don't always have somewhere to go. We don't always have, even though there's always events here, they're not always family friendly. Excuse me, there's times where I might be invited to do something and it'd be perfectly fine for me to come, but maybe kids aren't allowed. And it's a holiday, so it's extremely difficult to get somebody to watch her. I mean, just different examples of things, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like you look at Facebook and you see what's going on the timeline. You see all these pictures, you see all these events. People are checking in at the club, they're checking in at these restaurants, they're checking in at these events, they're going to Six Flags, they're doing all these different fun things that, you might want to be doing some of that. Like, how come nobody invited me? Or how come I have this kind of life where I'm kind of bound or I feel kind of stuck? But it's just a sliver of life. It's just temporary. Okay. I'm kind of skipping over into another realm here. But you see, I have notes here, of course. Instead of looking at what everyone else is doing and trying to keep up with them, you have to look at what God has given you and that purpose that he's given for you. So if you are, as I said, looking at what all these other people are doing, even the people that are in business, yeah, even if they're in business and they're in a place where you aspire to be, maybe they have a lot of followers, maybe they're rich, people that are on their way to being the next Oprah or whatever. Maybe that's not your calling. Maybe you're supposed to be Oprah in your community. Maybe you're supposed to be Oprah in your neighborhood. Maybe you're supposed to be Oprah in your church. I don't know. It depends on your purpose. You have to look to God for your purpose and not compare yourself to the little slice of life, that little 10% that you see everyone else doing. My third point is, with every new option, yes, Tiffany, your calling may be similar, but your story is unique. Absolutely. And I'm actually going to get to that in a second. Number 3, my third thing I wanted to mention is, with every new option and opportunity is a different level of responsibility. So although you might be desiring to go to that higher level, are you really ready to accept all of the responsibility and all the things that come with it? Because you're looking at the glory and you're looking at the wow, and everybody loves me, yay. And what about all the work that you'll have to do at that higher level? You're not just going to get to put on a smiley face and take beautiful pictures and then sit down somewhere. You have to work. You have to do something. You have to back that up. And so it's not all about, happy, happy, joy, joy. There's work that has to be done. There's grinding involved. There's crying involved. I mean, it's not all peaches and cream. There's ugliness in there when you get to that, when you are rising to the top. So there's responsibility for each new level that you come to. And maybe you're ready for it and maybe you're not. Maybe you're ready for it, but this isn't the right time. Maybe God is saying, you know what? This isn't the year for you. I got you. That purpose I put in your heart. What I gave you. You are the one, but this is not the time. And that's something that I've had to accept myself, is that, there's things that I want in my life, and maybe it's going to come and maybe it's not, but apparently this isn't the right time. And one thing that I don't want is I don't want the right thing at the wrong time. I don't want the right thing at the wrong time, because if I get it and I'm not ready for it and I can't handle it and I lose it, I'm going to be even lower than I was when I started. Okay. So I got to trust God with that. You've got to trust God that he knows when the right time is. I think that sometimes we rush things and we go into something, we think we're going to snatch an opportunity and we go into it too early, and then it blows up in our face because we weren't ready for it. Or maybe we were ready for it, but the person that we were connecting with, whether it's a relationship that's a romantic relationship, a professional relationship, a mentor, that wasn't the right person for us to be connected to get to that level. Yes, Nicole, everything will happen in due season. Absolutely. And so that's something I got to remind myself of. Everything that I'm saying to y'all right now is something that I personally have had to deal with. Now what I'm going to do is get to my 2 things that you can do now. Okay, so I gave you 3 things to think about, and now I want to give you 2 things that you can do now to help you to stop comparing yourself to others and to feel more content. All right. The first thing, and I know you've heard these before, this is just a reminder and encouragement. The first thing you can do is serve. So what do you know how to do where you need it? Is there another person, a young person, a young lady, a friend? Is there someone that genuinely, not someone that's needy, but someone that genuinely needs your help? And I'm not saying that you have to necessarily give them money. I'm not necessarily saying that, you have to give lots and lots of times. Yes, we have to work on ourselves so we're ready when it happens. Absolutely. You got to be prepared when that opportunity comes. But there's different ways to serve. You can definitely serve with money. Money's always needed, right? But there's other ways that you can give of yourself that no one else can do. So as Tiffany or someone else pointed out a few minutes ago, there's things that you can do that you do better than anybody else. Or even though there's things that someone else knows how to do the same, they're not going to give the same flavor that you give. There's other people that you've watched, their videos, and they've talked about, business tips and whatever, but everybody's bringing something a little different to the table. They have their own flavor. There's room for everybody. All right. If that's you and that's what you do, then there's room for you. There's no need to shrink back. There's no need to not give. Somebody needs what you have specifically. So this has held me back a little bit at times from, thanks, hon. This has held me back a little bit at times from saying, like I've written a few books. I'm a writer. I've been writing all my life. I'm a technical writer right now, and I've written 3 books on self-help and relationships. And sometimes I just think to myself, okay, well, people already know this. They know that they need good communication skills in order to have a relationship. They know they need to do this and organize their chapters and this and that in order to write a book. I mean, everybody knows that. They could Google that. But can they get it? Can they get it from just Googling it though, for real? Can they really get what you have just from Google? Can they really? Can they really watch a YouTube video 2 or 3 times and master everything that you know? Probably not. So serve, you need to give of yourself. Go where you're needed. If you don't know where you're needed, find out. Yes. My books. Well, I've done different scopes about my books, but I'll try to come back to that in a minute. I want to make sure I get this last tip in just in case somebody has to go. My second tip for what to do when you are trying to get through this discontentment, right, is this discontentment is to fight your discontent with gratitude. So when you first clicked onto the scope, or people watching the replay, when you first clicked onto the scope, I was holding up this green book, and it was a quote from Michael Jordan that said, you have to expect things of yourself before you can do them. And there's like some old pictures of me from when I had a Caesar cut. It's been a while. Let my hair grow out and stuff. But basically, I have been journaling since I was 11 years old. And journaling is what eventually led to my first book. And so my first book is called What's Wrong With Me? It's a question we've all asked ourselves as we've grown up, and it's a self-esteem / memoir / self-help book for girls that are, just trying to figure out, how to navigate high school and, dating for the first time, why other girls are hating on them, dealing with family relationships. I'm a middle child, so I had to deal with siblings. That middle child syndrome is real, by the way. But I've always had a journal to be able to put my thoughts in, and I'm right now developing my own journal e-course. I've had doubts about putting it together. To this day, to this moment, not even sure that women, or the women that I'm going to serve, if there's really going to be a demand for it. But I'm going to do it anyway because it's what I know, and I really think that because it's in me and God put it in me, that it's going to help somebody. So I'm just going to fight through that doubt that I have, because I have it. Right? So you need some place where you can keep a record of things that you have accomplished and situations that God has helped you to overcome. I'm going to say that again. You need a place that you can go back to that has a record of things that you have accomplished. Thank you guys for those hearts. Y'all keeping them hearts coming, and I appreciate it. On the replay, you can still tap on the side of your device for hearts as well. Keep a record of things that you have accomplished, as well as situations that God has helped you to overcome, because it is very, very easy to forget what you have been through. Okay, how old are you? Are you older than 10? Yes. Are you older than 5? Okay, then you've overcome something in your life. You're still here, right? And you're watching this Periscope, so you can see and you can hear. That's 2 things right there that you can be grateful for. And so some people they're fancy and they call it a book of remembrance. I call it a journal. Oprah calls it a gratitude journal. You just need a place where you can go back to and reflect on and be like, wow, God is good. Oh my gosh, he brought me from a long way. That's what they say, and it's true. When you look back over your life, you could just look back. If you started today, okay, and then in 2016 you look back at the past year, you will see a remarkable amount of growth in your life. You will see a remarkable amount of situations where you was feeling one kind of way, you was feeling discontent and disenfranchised or whatever, and then the next thing you know, it's like, okay, those things that used to bother me before, they don't even bother me anymore. Like, I can't believe I was sweating that dude. Like, I can't believe I was sweating that boss. I can't believe I was sweating that situation, because I'm beyond that. I'm over that. And so we forget not only about how good God is, but how strong we are and everything that we've accomplished. So keep a book of remembrance or a journal. And what I'd like you to do is, before you go to bed tonight, I want you to write down 20 reasons why you're grateful. It doesn't have to be 20 things that happened today, but it sounds like a lot. It sounds like 20 things is a lot. It's not. 20 things is not a lot. Okay? You can think about, today is Tuesday, right? You can think about 20 things that have happened this week. You totally can. If you can't, tweet me and I'll talk to you, and we'll get it out, because I'm sure that there's 20 things that have happened in the past couple of days that you can be grateful for. So that's what I want you to do. Write down 20 things that you are grateful for. The other thing I want you to do is check out my podcast. I have a new podcast that I started in August. I did not want to start it. Again, doubt. People have been telling me for years what a wonderful voice I have, complimented me on it. Oh my gosh, I love listening to you. I've heard it all, okay? Men and women. And I just always fought it. Okay, no. I don't want to have to come up with content all the time. I just said this to Nicole a few minutes ago. I don't want to have to come up with all this content. I don't know what to say. And I have got so many interviews lined up, but everything on my podcast talks about personal development, coaching, just ways to make your life better, to get through everyday situations and stressors. And most of the topics have helped me. There's been women that have come on there and talked about how they got over miscarriages. Someone came on and talked about how to get over an offense, when you have to accept an apology that you never got. How do you get over it when somebody has wronged you, never apologized, and then came back and said, you know what, everything is all good. There's been, I think, 9 or 10 episodes now, and I published one today about girls in fashion. So if you want to know more about that one, check out my scope that I did this morning. I'm wearing this shirt. You'll be able to see it easily. So I'll recap. This is probably my longest scope. I'm so glad that you guys have hung on. I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate the hearts. You guys are awesome. The 3 points I wanted to bring up about there's no win in comparison are: everybody has got something. You will never feel content while you're looking at other people. And with every new option and opportunity, is a different level of responsibility. And then the two things that I want you to do today, that I want you to start thinking about and doing, is to start serving and to keep a gratitude journal where you can list things that you're grateful for as often as they come to you. You don't have to have like a physical book like what I was holding. You can just use Evernote or some other kind of app and just jot stuff down. You can even speak it. You don't even have to type it. You can just say, you know, whatever it is you're grateful for. And then check out my podcast because it's got some excellent stuff on there. And every Tuesday I have new episodes. Again, my name is Daree. It's like Marie with a D. And I just thank you for watching this evening scope. I know there's a ton of other people on, and you out here watching me, and I appreciate you, and I thank you, and I hope that you will subscribe. And if you follow me, I will follow you back. All right? Have a great evening.